Since the beginning of the 20th century, the topic of out-of-place artifacts has been covered up or ignored. Even though these findings disapprove Darwin's concept of human evolution on Earth. In May 1912, the Phillips brothers found strange skeletons of giants in Lake Delavan, Wisconsin, near burial mounds. The skeletons were 9 feet tall, with elongated heads and strange facial features. Once the discovery was made public, Charles E. Brown of the State Historical Museum started to further investigate the area. All in all, 18 skeletons of an unknown race were found at Lake Delavan. Interestingly, the Lake Delavan giant discovery was one of dozens of similar discoveries which were reported in local newspapers since 1851. In 1891, the New York Times reported that the Smithsonian Institute had found a number of large pyramidal monuments near Medicine Lake Mills in Wisconsin. This was followed up with another report in 1897 about the discovery of 3 large burial mounds in Maple Creek, Wisconsin. In it, a 9 feet tall skeleton was found of a man that had a large skull. Similarly, skeletons of giants have been found in many Midwestern U.S. states for more than 100 years. The question is why there are no public displays of these findings at natural history museums. Or what research has been done with these findings by organizations like the Smithsonian Institute, who control many of the burial sites. Historical texts such as the Hebrew Bible, Egyptian glyphs, Sumerian cuneiform tablets talk about these giants. The book of Genesis also talks about the origin of giants, or the Nephilim. They were hybrid children created from fallen angels, or ETs, and local women, the daughters of man. The Bible depicted the giants as corrupt entities, which is why Yahweh had ordered the early Israelis to kill them to the last woman and child. Hence, ethnic genocide was encouraged by Yahweh against the Amorites, Anakites, Moabites, and others. Older records, such as the Sumerian tablets, describe more details about the giants. They talk about extraterrestrial visitors from another planet, the Anunnaki, which were taller in size. According to the Sumerian tablets, the Anunnaki needed a workforce, so they created the modern Homo sapiens from the local primitive hominids. The genetic experimentation was done by the chief geneticist, Enki, or Prince Ea. He created different-sized human prototypes with different levels of intelligence and fertility. These prototypes were created for a number of purposes. Some were intended to be used in labor, others were to be soldiers. Some were used as intermediaries with the Anunnaki rulers. Others became avatars for the Anunnaki that stayed on planet Earth. This depiction might explain why the giants had different sizes. According to the records, Enki's genetic experiments became problematic for the chief Anunnaki overlord Enlil, or Yahweh, who only wanted a slave workforce with limited potential. As some of the humans had refused to perform hard labor over time, or after 40 years according to the tablets, and they started to rebel. The Akkadian Atrahasis tablets describe how Enlil, who was the ruler of Earth, decided to destroy humankind because of the rebellions of the labor force through famine, droughts, and the Great Flood. The records describe that Enki tried to save some of the humans, which made Enlil even more furious. After this, Enki was forced to leave Earth, but 12 members of his team remained and went into hibernation. Once Enki departed, Enlil ordered his scientists to manipulate the human DNA and shorten the human lifespan. According to sources like Alex Collier, Michael Sala, Elena Danaan, Enki or Prince Ea has returned to our solar system, and that has awakened some of the giants who remained on Earth and went into hibernation.